Hi, this is Rick Osborne Jr. and I am out at Thompson Ledges Park out here in Thompson, Ohio. And I was going to give you a quick tour of this nice park for my geology class that I teach at Lakeland Community College. Today is March 31st, 2020, and here we go. So bear with me. I'm just going to do a quick walkabout on the front of the road here. You can see that we have, this is actually Thompson Road. And I'm going to walk down the street here just to show you the outcrop of the actual sharing conglomerate. This is actually the stone type, and this road has been carved out right through the sharing conglomerate. You have it on this side, and if you go over here, you have it on that side. The sharing conglomerate is a very high concentrated quartzose sandstone. You can actually see some of these great quartz pebbles in here. You have to start thinking about your sedimentary class, section of our class. And remember the conglomerate. We have, what makes a conglomerate? Well, it's the rounded pebbles and the size of those pebbles. This was, without having the actual larger quartz pebbles, this would just be a regular sandstone. So what I'm doing is I'm walking along the side here on the lower section of about a 50-foot cliff face. You could see here. Let's back up a little bit so you could really see how big this is. Again, we're out in Thompson, Ohio. We are along the ledges here. Now, some of the great features that you see here at Thompson Ledges is some of this very pronounced honeycomb weathering. And it comes from the name honeycomb, essentially because it looks like something you might see in a honeycomb beehive. Now, what happens here is that weathers out, and over time, these little pebbles fall out and sort of sit along the base of this area here. So that's one feature that we see here. Another feature that we see is something called cross bedding. So cross beds are essentially, you could see these angled looking beds right here coming down. Then they flatten out. You could see another sequence of flat beds, and then some dipping beds. And so what you see there, this is occurring when you have deposition of this material, and it speeds up. So when you start getting some fast deposition of this nice quartzose sandstone material, it actually speeds up. This, by the way, is a nice walkway. They just built this lookout, which you could take from the bottom here up, and I'm doing that now. We're going to do a couple different times. We're going to go up and down here. Get your legs moving. Start seeing how high we are. Sorry I don't have the GoPro going yet, but I'm having a battery issue, so I gotta get through that. This is, again, my new YouTube channel that I'll be posting this on, called Geology Rocks. And I'm going to look back at some of these old ones and probably laugh as I get more advanced in the YouTube world. Take a look at this when you're out here, this nice walk deck that they built here. Very hard, very safe. So I'm actually back up on top now of the main park entrance. And what I wanted to share with you is this nice pavilion. Look, it's starting to rain a little bit, which is all right. They got a little pavilion. They have a nice little picnic area here. They have a bathroom. They have a tennis court. Not many people are playing tennis today. One of the questions I posed to everybody is, why do you have this nice moss? So you can see this moss, it's everywhere. It's growing right on the surface of this outcrop. So directly underneath this, and in fact, majority of this road that they put in here has nice quartz pebbles. And you can see right there. So why do we have this nice moss, and what advantage do things have to support and stay within this moss? Well, there's a lot of water that's held inside this quartz sandstone. I mean, a lot. In fact, we'll see a well down and later in this video of actually water just pouring out of this hard rock, which is hard to believe. But you get into permeability and porosity, and with this quartzo sandstone, there's a lot of voids and a lot of spaces, which gives really good permeability for different things like water. But this moss can be used as a little protective layer on top of this. You know, it has, again, a lot of moisture, so you have very good growth ability. But then you also have, you know, things that can utilize this, like different types of animals, different types of insects, stuff like that. So it's just it's a common thing that we see along these shearing conglomerate outcrops, is this real nice, soft and cushy moss. So this is a neat way down. So we just took the real nice stairs, and now we're going to take a more direct route that basically is a little crack in the outcrop here. So this is probably due from some type of movement over the years that have separated this. Remember, this is all Devonian age and Pennsylvanian age material. And so it's very old. We're talking 200 to 250 million years old. And you know, you might say, well, this was created by the glaciers. Well, the glaciers came a lot later. And so this was all deposited when we had a lot of water in our area here. So if you think about Pennsylvanian time frame, then you'll know the age of it, and you'll be able to understand when this was deposited. You can't think about the time related to glaciation, but just related to the geological time of that particular era. Here's a little shot that I just walked down. This is very safe. And I always ask your students, my students here, to go and try to grab these pebbles and to try to get these out. But they are cemented in there with a quartz embedment, quartz sandstone material. I mean, these are like they're super glued inside here. You cannot get any of these out. But eventually, over time with weather, mechanical weathering, those will fall out. All right, so now we are back at the base, and this is one of the premier locations to see the outcrop and see some of this fantastic cross bedding. So again, you can see where the beds are dipping. Now, just to get your bearings straight, that way is north, and then this way is south. And so, looking at these beds, one of the questions is, which way was the water flowing? And so, answer that when you, in my handout that I supplied to you. So what we're going to do now is just continue to walk along the base of this. We could see a lot of these big boulders have just fell off from way up there and have been deposited now over here. And this could have been done from, different things. It could be done from the just frost wedging from the ice and the snow and the maybe the retreat of the glaciers, or it just depends on when it happened. But a lot of these big chunks you could see now have fallen down and they're at the base. I don't know if anyone noticed, but I just walked through a major wet area. That was right over there. And that was real mucky. Everyone that comes through here with tennis shoes, when they leave, they're black. So what's interesting about that spot is, where's all that water coming from? I mean, there's really sort of protected ledge there. So the rain would fall and it would probably come down and probably miss it. But what happens here is you have a lot of water, like I mentioned, that's stuck in that rock. So that water just leaches out of the rock, literally pours out. And part of that, excuse me, as you could see, is some of these massive trees. I mean, these aren't like little bushes. These are some major trees that are sitting and actually growing right on the rock. Look at that one. That is literally perched up right on the rock there. So again, it shows how good environment that you could have a tree grow out basically just on that. So again, as we're cruising along here, we are walking along the base here. We're going to see some more of these big chunks that have broken off. And then what we're going to do is walk up one of the only other natural entrances in and out of this base here. One of the other really neat thing about this park is that it's adjacent to a live working sand quarry. And where they're mining the Thompson conglomerate here, they break it up and they sell it to different types of uses. They sell it for people that want it in their sandboxes. They sell it to golf courses. They sell it for making precast products. They make precast products there. They sell it for, different types of beaches. But what's really unique about this is that it's a very hard quartz sandstone. And so, excuse me here. Wow, you can see how some of this stuff is awesome. And it's unique in that matter because a lot of people use it for different types of abrasives, sand blasting, and many, many other applications. So I'm cruising along here, getting a little winded. Just a little winded. Gotta get out more. Okay, we're gonna do that. And we're gonna keep walking along the base of this awesome outcrop. Again, we're in Thompson, Ohio. This is a geology field trip that I take my class on every year, twice a year. I have a historic geology class right now that I'm teaching at Lakeland. And we were supposed to do this field trip tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is email it to all my fine students. And then that way they can look at my video. Or if they want, they can come out here. You know, these parks are just unbelievable. This is actually one that is run and owned by the state of Ohio. But as you'll see on my YouTube channel, Geology Rocks, we have just some fantastic metro parks and some just beautiful scenery right here in Lake County, Ohio, as well as the rest of the counties in Ohio. We have a lot of great geology that I'm going to be taking everyone on. So some people probably are sick and tired of sitting at home and watching the news. So what I found is if we go to YouTube, sort of search for something you like, you can really get your mind off of things and try to enjoy some of these great natural parks and features that Ohio has. So, and if you can't get out, then there you go. Just watch me do it. And if you can get out, I would definitely make it a thing to do, because right now, as you can see, it's getting close to noon. It's on a Tuesday, and there's no one else here. So this is like my associates at Keller Williams just told me that I am social distancing as good as it gets right now. And just a quick shout out to my friends and family at Keller Williams. They've been just doing an amazing job of keeping people engaged and pumped up and try to relieve some of the worry that's going on in the world. Here's our way out. But our market center is in Menor, and we have about 180 real estate agents that are here to help buy and sell your homes. I specialize in commercial real estate, and one of my fun job is this, looking at geology and looking at rocks. Although I do love commercial real estate. So we're going to walk up here, and we are going to walk to the top of here. And if we go right, we go back to the parking lot. But I want to take a quick look at the actual quarry that they got down here. This park borders it. This is owned and operated for probably 50 plus years. And again, they supply a lot of precast, sand, and material. And what I'll do is just give you an idea how unique this material is. Well, there is a cell tower there. I'm going to walk over this way. I can look through the fence. Got some nice thorns that are starting to pop up here. But we are early enough where they are not bothering me at all. All right, look at that. That looks like, I always think it looks like there's going to be some sand people coming out from Star Wars when I see that material. But that's just one pile of this material that's here. And if we were to jump over that, you would see that there's a huge, huge area there. But some really nice light color sand. That's not what you find on Lake Erie, but if you get down to the shores of Siesta Key in Florida, you'll see stuff like that, which is just beautiful and nice. Not that Lake Erie's sand isn't nice, just different color. So this is all quartz sandstone. All right, so we're gonna head back. Again, if you in my geology class taking either physical or historical class, you can come out to this park on normal hours and sort of hike around. We are walking through a little second growth forest here. Looks pretty small stuff. There are a lot of oak trees out here that I'll point out, depending on the acorns that we see. All right, we'll see. Well, don't see a lot of acorns on the ground right now, so they're either probably all been gone and eaten. What type of critters do we have out here? Well, we could have deer. Woo! Excuse me. Woo! Pardon me. Two big sneezes. But anyway, we got deer. We can have turkey. We have a lot of different animals out here. I'm sure bald eagles, hawks, a lot of different types of birds. One of my new little things that I'll be doing is identifying some birds and logging them in to Cornell University's website called eBird. And it's just sort of a birding website that allows them to look at what birds are being seen. So if you watch my Men Are March video that we took the other day, I actually ran into 5 or 6 American coots, which aren't that big of a deal, but just the word is sort of cool. Coot. And you old coot. And so I did take a look at, did see that, and as well we saw some, I saw one swan that was diving in the marsh, so it's pretty neat. All right, so again, I'm cruising along the path here that leads us to the parking lot. And there is a nice pavilion, as you can see. And one of the views that I'm going to take you on is if you stand in that pavilion, you'll be able to see something really scary. So just take a look at it. I'm going